Thank you for joining Wars of the Rosies as we continue with Part 5, Lesson 4, The Illuminated Faith, Mystical Interpretation of the Gospel of St. John by R. Swinburne Clymer. Lesson 4, Only he who has reached illumination and has found the Christ can see the Father. St. John, chapter 1, verses 18 through 27. 18. No man hath seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him. Man, being of flesh, can neither see nor understand the soul, only as he heeds the divine decree, love one another, is he given the key that unlocks the door to the temple wherein God dwells. As man lives in accordance with the divine law of love, does he manifest the characteristics of the law of love. This manifestation begins in the center of the being, for there first arises the impulse to live the true life. Manifestation necessarily begins within, for it is within our own being that God dwells. As growth continues, in time we manifest the Father in our outward appearance and in our daily conduct. But even with such manifestation as this, we do not yet see the Father. Outer manifestation is only a reflection of the Father that dwells within the temple. However, as we continue to grow more and more like the Father, as we cleanse the temple more and more, so that the Father may dwell therein, soul awakening takes place. It is to be emphasized that soul awakening is a long continued process, which finds its culmination in soul consciousness or an illumination of soul. Only after maturity of soul consciousness has been reached can it be truly said that the soul, the only begotten of the Father, hath seen him and known him. It is not man that sees the Father, for man of himself is nothing. It is the awakened, the illumined soul that can behold the Father, whom no man hath seen. The soul, piercing through physical eyes as into a mirror, can behold face to face the Father, whom no man hath at any time seen. 19. And this is the record of John, when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask, Who art thou? 20. And he confessed and denied not, but confessed, I am not the Christ. Though a great prophet, John had not yet reached soul consciousness. In his teachings, he had gone no further than to emphasize the mind's power to create, the mighty powers and the manifold faculties of the mind. John expounded to the people. He explained to them how to use mental forces in order to free themselves from unsatisfactory conditions. He explained to them how to accept the one who was to come after him, but he fearlessly confessed that he was not the Christ. Science of mind, though a potent factor in life, and though the means to building of soul, is not in itself eternal. However, that which the awakened mind consciously builds or creates is eternal. 21. And they ask him, What then? Art thou Elias? And he saith, I am not. Art thou that prophet? And he answered, No. The prophet Elias lived before John. The only way by which John could be Elias is to have been a reincarnation of him, or the soul of Elias returned to earth. The questions of the people concerning John indicate that reincarnation was not a strange doctrine. Furthermore, it was contradicted at no time either by John or by Jesus or by any of the masters. John did not say, How can I be Elias, since he is long dead and passed to the beyond? He simply answered, I am not he. By this simple answer, he admits the possibility of Elias' return to the earth. 22. Then said they unto him, Who art thou? That we may give an answer to them that sent us. What sayest thou of thyself? 23. He said, I am the voice of one crying in the wilderness, Make straight the way of the path of the Lord, as said the prophet Esaias. The mind which John the Baptist represents may be great and powerful. It may indeed hold the secrets of creation, but until the mind has found the light, until such time as it has received illumination, it is like one in the wilderness. It is surrounded with darkness, a darkness through which it cannot penetrate. Just as soon as awakening takes place, the mind is free from darkness. It has come out of the wilderness. Moreover, through wise direction of creative faculties, it has made the way straight. And through creation of new conditions in its own kingdom, it has made possible for the soul to become conscious, or for the Christ to come forth. The awakened mind is the voice of one crying in the wilderness. The awakened mind recognizes that the things of the flesh, things of the carnal nature of man, are not permanent or eternal. Thus, it desires, it cries for better things. Through the continual cry, the continual desire for better things, it builds the soul, and in time, the Christ comes forth. 24. And they which were sent were of the Pharisees. 25. And they asked him, and said unto him, Why baptizest thou then, if thou be not that Christ, neither that prophet? 26. John answered them, saying, I baptize with water, but there standeth one among you, whom ye know not. 27. He it is, who coming after me is preferred before me, whose shoes latch I am not worthy to unloosen. Baptism with water refers to mind awakening, that is, the awakening of the mind to the higher possibilities of the solar nature of man, and to the part of that mind must play in development of the solar nature. Thus, it is evident that baptism with water, or mind awakening, is necessary before there can be an awakening of the soul. Just as long as the mind of man is satisfied with the things that give pleasure and contentment to the flesh, just that long is his better, higher nature truly asleep, or in a dormant, unawakened condition. He may seem to be successful in business, or in social, or in governmental affairs, but he is not truly awake to the higher interest of his own higher nature. As he awakens to the fact that his nature requires something more than material interest, as he searches for that which will satisfy his higher nature, he is said to be in the process of awakening. In his search, he finds the way, the truth, and the life that guides his mind in the construction or the building of the soul. Then he is said to be baptized with water, or his mind is awakened, or to express the thought in other words still, his mind has become the awakened or the illumined mind. It has become thoroughly awakened to its function in the divine plan, its function of creating such conditions that the solar nature may properly unfold. It has become illuminated in the sense that it sees clearly the path that leads to the illumination of soul, and that it can visualize clearly the ideal temple structure of the immortal soul. It has an intelligent grasp of the principles and the methods that underlie development of solar powers. To the mind that is truly awakened, so clear is knowledge concerning the principles of soul building that he can explain them to others. This figure, common in sacred literature, is drawn from the statement, Know ye not that ye are the temples of the living God? The soul of man is the temple of the living God. There is a science of soul building. There is a science and art of soul architecture. The principles underlying this science and this art are as exact as those underlying the construction of a massive stone structure. It stands to reason that the master architect must understand in detail the principles, the laws, the artistic devices of temple building. Equally true is it that the mind of man must have an intelligent comprehension of the principles, the divine laws, and the artistic devices that underlie architecture of soul. When the mind has truly awakened to the realization of these laws and principles and is willing to assume its rightful place in the divine plan as the master architect of the soul, it has truly become the awakened or the illumined mind. But it is to be distinctly emphasized that awakened or baptized mind is not the Christ. Rather, it is the forerunner of the Christ. The Christ comes after the awakened mind has builded the soul, or after the awakened mind has in turn awakened the soul. After the soul has been truly awakened, the mind of man is as nothing, or is supplanted, for the man whose soul is awakened no longer uses the mind centered in the head or in the brain for the greater work of soul building and of soul illumination, but he uses the mind of the center, the great center upon the altar in the temple. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment. And if you can, please consider donating to Wars of the Rosies. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you so very much.